People who have accidentally waved back at someone who wasn't waving at you. What did you do immediately after to try and style it out? I committed fully. Gave them double finger guns and a wink. They looked genuinely concerned. I haven't been outside since. I immediately scratched my head like I was just stretching. Then pretended to look around like I saw someone else. Leave the country. Start somewhere new where nobody knows your face. Do it overly confident. Smile at the person and wave even more enthusiastic. It will just make them laugh cause they'll think you did it on purpose. Run my fingers through my hair. Except I am bald, so it just doubled down on the awkwardness. Kept waving, hoping they'd wave back so I could save face. I've been waving ever since. This happens to me all the time. Haha, last time, I just pretended I was fixing my hair and turned it into a little wave to my imaginary friend. Save the vibe, lol. Pretended I was waving at someone behind them. Evacuate the perimeter. Just own up to the mistake and put your hand to your mouth. I immediately become invisible. Nothing, just felt embarrassed. I like to look behind me at the person they were waving at, then look back to them and make eye contact before putting my hands in my pocket and walking away sadly. Wave harder. Start waving at everyone. No one is safe. Nothing. Embrace the moment. Just laughed about it. Who cares? How was I supposed to know I can't see behind me? Removed by Reddit. Once I realize, I just go back to whatever I was doing. It's not as if I was operating under the delusion of being cool before. I'll typically fake a seizure. First thing I did was put my hand down and then looked around to see how many people saw me being an idiot and then walked away from that area. I scratched my balls and offered him a sniff. Act like trying to fix your hair. It's okay to make mistakes like that. Didn't have to do anything. She walked by me and gave me a high five because she said at least some people know how to be friendly. The trick is to do one of these and then the person next to you does it, then the person next to them. Now, all of a sudden, you got everyone on the street doing this. If I have eye contact with the person when I realize, I'll usually do a comically exaggerated grimace, followed by a shrug and half grin. I don't bother putting any thought into it and I just wave back. I might even walk over and introduce myself. Why? Because we're all in this world together, let's be friends. I've always wanted the person that was actually being waved at to also be waving at someone else, who was waving at someone else, who was waving at someone else, ect. Infinite loop of awkwardness. The trick is to just keep waving and stare through them. Even if you're the only two people on the street, just keep steadily waving until they walk completely out of sight. No matter how long that takes. Never stop waving. I did a full committed wave, realized too late, and turned it into a weird attempt at swatting a fly that wasn't there. 10/10 would embarrass myself again. There is no way to recover from this TBH. Especially when they're also walking toward you. After several humiliations, I just switched to assuming that anyone waving is clearly not waving at me and I haven't publicly humiliated myself since. Keep walking, it's pretty simple. Ran with it. Made them think they'd failed to acknowledge a distant acquaintance. Followed by a decade of depression and alcohol abuse. Stopped a cab with the same wave. Just laugh, shrug and shake your head. Own up to the mistake and laugh it off. Embrace the awkward. Nothing. I look behind and back at the waver, then chuckle whoops. Before continuing on with my day. Laughing and continuing my day without shame or regret. Generally feel like an idiot. Sat down waiting for my takeout. Woman behind register kept looking at me. I gave her a very quick awkward smile and she immediately turned away, embarrassed. Picked up food, turned around, and realized I was sitting under a large mirror. She was looking at herself the whole time. I don't. I simply smile, nod my head, and confidently walk away. It's only awkward if you make it awkward. It's a simple mistake. Own it. Laugh and if they are close enough literal say oh shit I thought you were waving at me for some reason and then move on. I'm too old to be embarrassed about things that are so commonplace and everyone does it that we can make Reddit threads about it and everyone knows what's up. Everyone does it, everyone falls, everyone stumbles over their words. Don't try to be sly, just own your fuck ups. Life is way easier and you'll be surprised how much owning those little things can lighten the situation. Run my fingers to my hair. I just laughed and went on about my day. Oh. Oops. And carry on. I just sigh, then be like that's just life and walk away. I immediately fixed my hair. Even though I'm bald. I owned it. Just said I didn't want to leave them hanging. Pretended to wave to someone behind them. Look down, walk away and curse each bit of ground I step upon thereafter for not opening up and swallowing me. Walked away then KMS. Continue to wave. As though you were beckoning to someone behind them. There you have it. Repaired. If close enough, say sorry, I thought you were someone. I just smile and pretend I'm mental. Depends on the mood. Sometimes you turn it into a new interaction. Other times you just wander off. Smile and just act nothing happened. I turned state's witness and got into Wit Pro. I consider the consequences of becoming a serial killer to cover up this embarrassment. I fully committed. In my defense, I'd just completed a charity run. I thought they were people I knew who had come to support. Not so much. So, I just carried on walking and eventually found my partner and the group of my friends. Oopsie. Aces. I just pretended I didn't notice. I waved and went back to my phone. Just pretended to be stretching my arms. I kept smiling and waving. The other guy saw me and freaked out. I just laughed maniacally. I don't think it helped. I just laughed it off. I think it happens to everyone. I start awkwardly running towards them, which an awkward limp and gait had a little crooked, and then yell, "Have you seen my baseball?" Some people might understand. Just keep waving like you're waving at somebody else, and they think they're dumb for thinking they are the center of the universe, so someone waving must be waving at them. Maybe even call out a name or a greeting. I once passed Jeff Healy, look him up, and waved to him from across the room. Just say, "I thought you were washing at me, my bad." I thought an employee at Walmart was waving me over to start a new line. The line I was in was super long and I thought it was just me getting lucky. I even pointed at myself to confirm he was in fact waving at me, and he nodded yes. When I got off the line and started pushing my cart over, he just walked away. I left my cart where it was and left the store. I've done this while driving my car. Thought they were waving at me. I went for the return wave, quickly realized their wave wasn't aimed at me, so I continue my hand action, up to the sun visor and pull it down. Cool as a cucumber, with dignity intact. When I was a kid, we actually used to do the opposite. My dad loved playing the wave game. My sister, dad, and I would all start waving at someone as if we knew them while driving by. Loved seeing the look on their faces, and we would laugh so hard. Good times. We looked at each other for 3 seconds and shook the hands like we'd known each other for years. Broke into random star jumps. It was made more awkward as I was at a funeral. Giggled at myself, shook my head, gestured sorry or don't mind me if the person is confused, and walked on smile. I just turned red and laughed confidently. In my defense, she was wearing a full hijab and niqab. I thought she was my classmate in one of my minor courses. She was not. I don't style it off, I just be myself and laugh at my own goofiness, lol. Smiled and waved again and said sorry, haha. Make friends and get a new bestie. Off topic, but one time me and a pal were walking down a corridor. Some guy lifted his hand for a random high five and he wouldn't leave a guy hanging. The high five guy and the last behind my friend were very confused. I thought it was brilliant. You know, I have actually developed this sort of half wave, developed especially for one of these situations as I am visually impaired. I raise my hand to my chest and spread my fingers so that people notice that my hand has, in fact, moved. I then wave, only my wrist, not the entire arm, twice, more or less depending on how convinced I am that they were waving/speaking to me. If they weren't talking to me, I just adjust my glasses or itch somewhere or something. If they were, I can act all indignant that they didn't see me, obviously waving back, with a guilt-free conscience. Head down in shame and hide under rock for the rest of life. I do it all the time when I'm not wearing my glasses while walking the dog. The other person doesn't care. Just shrug and move on with your life. Used to be I would brush my hair back, pretending that's why I raised my hand at all. Now, though, I pretend to be waving at someone behind them. Just wave back and own it. Only one asked why in wave, and my answer was he looked so happy to see me I just couldn't let him down. At least we both added a little positivity to each other's day, a D that was worth it. Own my fuck up. Ah, it wasn't for me. Damn.